Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Tom Sawyer Show on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thanks for joining us. Head coach Tom Sawyer in again this week, and another week, another win, I guess.
Yeah, so far so good. It's been a lot of fun, except for the rain.
Right.
It was a good day and a fun trip up to Concordia.
Well, let me ask you about that. It was a night game at Concordia Seafoam Stadium. Driving rain, cold. I mean, that's football weather. We hear that all the time.
No,
but for
no.
you, well, let's get your idea.
I'd much rather play when it's 60. I don't mind night games. I like night games, but I'd much rather have it 65 degrees and partly cloudy, something like that. But it was miserable. It really was. It was when we were down right away. So that's the first time that happened all year. But just it's hard to get up for those games. I think our kids were ready. I don't think we're not prepared. I think that was fine. We just didn't execute, and that's part of the makeup of those kind of days. Until we got our ground game going, really in the second half, then we could put the game away.
It's kind of funny. It sounds like you lost the way that you're talking about the game there. But well, let's talk again. Conventional wisdom. They say that that's good football weather, but they also say that if it's snowing, if it's raining, if it's cold, that generally means that it's going to be run. Is that kind of your mindset going into that, or did you try to go against that?
No, we still try to do some things. I mean, we scored a touchdown, a couple screen plays. You just got to be more conservative in your pass game because you literally couldn't throw it more than 40 yards. We threw a couple up there, but it was at times 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts. So it does make you a little bit more one-dimensional. And I thought we did a good job adjusting to that and adjusting to the way that they were playing us defensively. Defensively, you can play, it doesn't matter because you can kind of tee back and tee off and go after the quarterback and run game, and we did that as well. So I think we handled the kind of game we had pretty well, actually. Okay,
let's talk about the offense first then, and talk about Javian Roebuck. Another 100-yard game for him. I know that you told us before the season, watch out for this kid. He's going to do a lot of great things in a Warrior uniform. Are we finally seeing exactly what you were looking at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I think so. The last 3 games you're seeing it, and he's still only getting about 20 touches a game because we are sharing time. He and Eric Berth both are doing great. But Javian's got that extra gear, and he bounces off people very well. For him to go this week and carried the mail a little bit more this week, and had 176 yards or whatever it was, but and player of the week too, so that was kind of fun. So he's a really special kid, very quiet and kind of just lays low and then does his talking with his pads on. So he's a fantastic addition to our team.
All right, talk about the offensive line then. I know that you've had to move people around this season with injuries and different things. How is that line gelling this year?
Well, now, since Vinny went out, now 4 games ago, it's taken a little bit of time, but really we're understanding what we're doing better. I think Joe Holtzclaw's done a nice job, Cameron Keller, our coaches, and really fitting what our guys can do and then how we can match that to what we want to do in the run game, and it's starting to pay off. And we got great fullbacks. And that adds a big part of it. Our tight ends are starting to play better as well. And then you got running backs who can run through some things. So it's starting to fit. And now we get a week like this week. Hopefully it's dry out and we can really get back to our 50-50 type offense.
Okay, let's talk about the passing game. As you said, you really couldn't throw the ball all that much. 104 passing yards, 392 complete, or all the yards put together. Talk about the passing game and what you were able to do and what you were looking at.
There really wasn't much of one, really, to be honest with you. The conditions were that bad. It got worse at halftime, and then, of course, by the time we got showered up afterwards, it turned out pretty nice. But it was not wasn't even in our conversation. We were just trying to figure out how many different ways we could run the football. Darren did what he could, but there really wasn't anything that we could do about it. We did play the screen game. We ran statue. We ran some delay type games, and all of those are passing yards, or most of them are passing yards. And that's all we really could do. We ran some outs to keep the sticks moving. So as conservative as it seemed, that's what we had to do in those kinds of conditions.
All right, let's talk defensively then. You only gave up 116 total offensive yards to Concordia. Talk about this defense again.
Yeah, they're just continuing to play well. We stayed away from explosive plays. They had one touchdown at the very last end of the game where kid, to be honest with you, he pushed off and made a catch for a touchdown. Otherwise, we'd have held them to 3 points, in which they got down to the 10-yard line on a ball that went off Isaiah's hands and went into the hands of a defender for an interception. He ran it down to the 10. That's the only offense they really produced. So our kids did a great job, and we knew they were also one-dimensional. and we got after them, and our linebackers played extremely well, even without Mike Imperiale. Those kids stepped up and really played nice.
All right, Luke Teague was the one that was highlighted in the post-game wrap-up. 8 tackles, 3 for a loss, also had a sack in that game. I know you've been talking him up too, and we're going to get him in the show, I think, a little later on, but talk about the way that he's played this season.
Yeah, he's fantastic. You know, he's the man who transferred in here from St. Joseph's College, and, you know, here's a kid that, you know, he gets an email and all of a sudden they're closing the school. Not just closing football or athletics, they shut the whole school down, so he's without a home. His parents were there standing in the driving range, drove all the way up from Indiana. And he's just a fantastic kid. He was a captain as a junior at his old school. He's really like a captain right now, and him and Mike Imperiale have really gelled well together. They're two of a kind. They're 2 peas in a pod, and he's the energy guy on our defense, along with Andrew Spencer, and he's been a really welcomed addition.
All right. Unfortunately, we do have to talk about this. I kind of jinxed you a little bit, I think, because last week I said you hadn't given up any points in the first quarter all season long.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, field goal for Concordia to lead things off. First time you've trailed. Did any worry set in when you were down with the field goal?
No, it wasn't worry. It was anger. To be honest with you, I really, you know, we had a couple opportunities offensively. Excuse me. One, we missed a field goal, and, you know, so that would have put us there. And the field goal they did get, the reason they were down there is because of the interception. So I was angry about how it happened. You know, this is college football. You're going to give up some points occasionally, but those are the kind of streaks you want to stay on. But so don't talk about that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, I'll stay away from that. Okay. I want to get into your head just a little bit and figure out where you are right now.
Sure.
At 7-0, you know, obviously things have been going well. You kind of joke that, you know, you're going to follow the same things and follow everything that you've been doing the previous weeks.
Yep.
What do you do in practice now? Are there things that you're still trying to fine-tune even at 7-0? I mean, I know
Absolutely.
you can't take for granted any of your opponents, but what are some things that you do in practice leading up to
Well,
games?
nothing's changed in one way in particular, is that we want to stay healthy. I mean, we're pretty good when we have all of our guys. And, you know, we got a couple injuries, that we got some guys down, and that's part of football. But so our first priority now later in the year, that becomes more and more important. Because you have less guys available. So that's the #1 priority. So when we've set our practice plan, we set it up that way to make sure that it's going to be a little less time probably, but be more efficient. And then the second part is that make sure that what we do well, we keep doing well, and then just add some things each week where we don't just go, okay, let's try this for the fun of it because we can. And against Wayne State, we can't. Yeah. They're a very good football team. They took Duluth to double overtime, had a chance to win the game, and had a field goal blocked. So they're a very good opponent, and they're going to come in here. Now they're coming in here against the 11th ranked team. I mean, it changes your motivation. So we need to play better. We'll just add a couple things for them particularly. All
right. How much of that do you do? I mean, I don't want you to tip your hat here on what you're going to do the rest of the season, but how much is it, you know, adding some new wrinkles into your offense or defense, or how much is it just kind of keeping everything the way that it is?
You know, it's over the years, all the charting we've done, we're a lot better when we have 11 guys doing it right. So it's more about, let's not put more in if we can't do what we already have in well, and let's get rid of the things that we're spending a lot of time on. So we really evaluate that. We're going, okay, we spent this many reps during the week on this particular play. We haven't ran it in a game for 2 weeks, and we spend all of our time and have a headache trying to get it right, throw it out. Sure. So we're trying to reduce our menu and make it most efficient as we can on what our kids are doing right at the time, how it fits with the game plan for Wayne State or whoever we're playing, and try to blend those two things together. And that's both sides of the ball, including special teams.
All right, homecoming this week. Any wrinkles or anything thrown in? Motivational speakers come in? Anything like that for this week?
You know, I'll have some guys that are coming in for the weekend. Jim Krupke will be around. He's going into Hall of Fame. He was a teammate of mine, and so it's kind of fun. So when those guys come down to practice, I bring them in. They talk to the team. Another guy, Rick Starzecki, will be in talking to some of our kids that are looking at coaching. So when alumni come back, if they're down around the field, and you know, I always invite them to speak with the team because they played at the same place. They have the same, you know, life that our guys are leading right now.
All right, sounds good. We're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show, and when we come back, we'll get the player perspective. We'll go offense first. Tyler Anderson will be our guest right after this.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
Good luck with the family. I'm home.
Oh, hi.
Where is everyone?
They're still here. I just gave everyone the HBC Wi-Fi password.
Stream like a hero. Only HBC has the fastest in-home Wi-Fi, where multiple users can download and upload, share files, and stream audio and video simultaneously.
In college football, you don't have the luxury of looking ahead. Every Saturday's a different way of destroying your season. They'll make the ground shake. They'll make your eyes burn. They'll show you hate and disrespect unlike anything you've ever seen. Don't think about January when there's a Wolverine coming for your face in September. The biggest game, the only game, is the one you're playing.
What's a Southern girl? It's waking up before the sun rises. It's loving the simple things in life like the dirt roads that lead you home. It's working hard to get what you want. It's hanging your own stands, breaking your own ground, and strategizing every little move for that one moment when everything you've worked for is standing right in front of you. Even if I fail a million times, I keep pushing myself till I'm exhausted, filthy, and about to give up. And that's when the adrenaline hits.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill. And Coach, we kind of joked about it at the beginning of the show. It's themes over the past couple of weeks, and now we got family ties, I guess is the theme this week.
Family ties, homecoming week. Tyler, thanks for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
You know, Tyler Anderson here from Forest City, Iowa, and I'll have him explain his family connections to Winona State. But during homecoming week, you know, we always want to have, you know, as many kids that are from other Warriors. And Tyler, both the kids today have backgrounds. But Tyler, first of all, why don't you share with everybody the connections you have to Winona State?
Both my parents actually went here, and my dad also played football here. And my mom's dad was the former athletic director, Larry Holstead, here, and he played here. And two of my aunts went here, and one of my uncles came here and played basketball. So it's just kind of, my whole family's always come here. And my aunts played softball, so a lot of people have played sports here before me. So,
you know, you look at, Tyler, you look at, you know, putting the uniform on for the first time. You redshirted as a freshman. And I know in that first game we came in and, you know, we got a home game against Bemidji State. And what was it like to put the uniform on actually for the first time?
It was a pretty weird and cool feeling at the same time because I grew up coming to like games. I mean, all the way when I was younger, just seeing games and watching people play, and then being the one actually on the field and like in something that I've been growing up watching was a really cool experience. And just being teammates with some of the guys, like I remember when I was in high school coming to games and you see like Andrew Spencer and like Jack Nelson, I was a teammate with him last year, and just guys like that. It was really cool for me to do that.
All right. I want to take you back a little bit to high school in Forest City, and I read that during your junior year you led your district and your team in receptions, and then you kind of had an injury after that. Can you describe what happened to you?
So it was the first game of my senior year, and it was the third quarter, and I went up for a ball in the back corner, like right on the pylon, and I caught it and got my foot down, and I came down, and I just landed on my shoulder like I've done 1,000 times in my sports career, and I just felt the pop, and I thought that I dislocated my shoulder, but we got to the sidelines and actually had been broken collarbone, so that ended my senior season. But got an opportunity to still play and trying to take advantage of it.
I want to ask you about kind of what happened after that, because you had been recruited prior to that, and then all of a sudden you said that the phone calls just stopped. What does that kind of mean to you when all of a sudden everybody that's been interested in you stops just because of an injury?
I mean, it was kind of disheartening to have that happen. You just been working a long time because you want the chance to get to play at the next level, and a lot of coaches, once they heard I got hurt, I remember that even like the day after, some coaches had called me to see how the first game of the year went, and I told them that, and that was the last I heard from them. So for the Sawyer and the rest of the coaches to stick with me really meant a lot, and I'd gone to some camps up here, so they'd gotten to see me play a little bit more going into my senior year, and I think that was really benefited me a lot, and still being able to get recruited here.
All right.
You know, Tyler, being in that receiver corps, which is a tough group to be in. You know, you've had the highs and lows of college football already because you've been now nursing another injury.
Yeah.
But more importantly is being in that group where you know that every week we're not sure how that's going to go and whether you're going to play or not play. That's a tough spot to be, as you and I have talked about. But how hard is it as a student athlete to really handle the challenges of collegiate athletics?
It's a lot harder than you anticipate it being. I remember, like, coming in my freshman year and you get through, like, during camp it's just football all day, and then you're like, oh, now we just have practices and that'll kind of be it, and then you don't realize that, I mean, you're lifting still in the mornings during the week and coming in on Sundays and reviewing the game tape, and then meetings every morning, and you're still, like, you have practice and you don't get out of the locker room until 6, and you still have homework, and you got to take care of your, like, watch your practice film, and still, I mean, it's like a full-time job, and you don't really realize that come in. It's a lot different than high school.
Without the full-time pay?
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, last question here. We have just about a minute left. Homecoming is this week. Does that mean a little bit more to you because of all the connections you have to Winona State?
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of family at every game, but I know that I think my relatives from out east are going to be back this weekend, and it's just everybody's going to kind of be here for the football game, and it's just kind of extra special now that I'm on the team, and because we used to come up before, but now they have somebody to come watch that's on the team and stuff like that, so it's going to be a fun weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, sounds good. Good luck this week, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we come back, Carter Duxbury will be our guest right after this.
In the Big Ten, you're always under attack. No matter where you look, the competition is fierce. Every inch, every yard, every game
Touchdown, Buckeye!
is taken by force. But you like it this way.
There it is! Touchdown! Wow!
What's a Southern girl? It's waking up before the sun rises. It's loving the simple things in life like the dirt roads that lead you home. It's working hard to get what you want. It's hanging your own stands, breaking your own ground, and strategizing every little move for that one moment when everything you've worked for is standing right in front of you. Even if I fail a million times, I keep pushing myself till I'm exhausted, filthy, and about to give up. And that's when the adrenaline hits.
Pick your channels, not your nose. With HBC's Essentials Plus, pick and choose the channel packs of your choice without getting your fingers dirty. With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill. And Coach, you brought to defense Carter Duxbury with you.
Yeah, Carter, thanks for being here, my man.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're talking about homecoming week and family ties, as Justin said. Well, why don't you talk about, how your family is involved with Winona State?
Well, my mom went here, my grandma, my grandpa, a couple aunts. It just keeps on going. My sister and brother actually both went here, so a lot of family have been here.
And growing up just down the road, I know you were involved with a lot of things going around campus as well, and being in Winona a lot. What was that like growing up just down the street, basically, and being around the Winona environment?
Well, we actually came to quite a few Winona games, and it was really cool to hear about them all the time. So it was always one of my goals to come to Winona.
You know, we laugh a lot about, when we're talking to Tyler about injuries and overcoming those things as a first-year player, and really it's your first opportunity as well. And yet you played with a cast on your hand for a few weeks. Talk us through how that went.
Well, that was, it was at the end of camp, broke my thumb. It's like the last thing I wanted to happen. I was looking forward to, I was actually starting at the time, so I was looking forward to the first game, big Bemidji game, but broke the thumb, had to have surgery. So I had to sit out 1 week. Luckily, they let me play with the cast, and so I was back out there the next week, and it's gotten better every day, so I'm pretty fortunate.
You know, I'll just ask one more thing about homecoming. What does it mean for you guys as a family to have all the stuff that we have going on now around the game day experience and big parades, all that stuff? What's it mean to you now as a player for homecoming?
It's pretty cool to see it's all about, it feels like it's all about the football team, and everyone's there to watch, big crowd. The game day experience is really awesome. Like someone said they remember walking the games before and they could hear birds chirping. Now it's the music's blaring. I mean, it's a fun day, very fun.
It's the police car.
Yeah.
I want to take you back a little bit to high school, Chatfield. I think we covered one of your games against Dover Iota here on HBC, so you've been on here before. But in 2013, your team won the state championship. I think you were a sophomore at that time. I don't know if you played a whole lot in that season, but what do you remember about winning the state title?
Well, it was that year that the seniors actually took control, and they said everyone needs to be lifting, running, had everything extra, and the leadership was amazing. And I actually got to, my first game playing was at Winona State versus Caledonia. And that game, the stands were just as packed as they are now, and everyone was, I mean, the ball just went our way. We interception in overtime to win it. And the state title was, I mean, everything you could dream about as a little kid growing up. So everything you wanted was a ring, and we were pretty fortunate that year.
Now, at that time, the state tournament game was at the Metrodome,
Yep.
so you got to play on that. What was that like to be out in the Metrodome field?
Just coming out of the dome, seeing the stands, the Vikings logo in the middle of the field, and it just felt amazing walking out there thinking pros like Adrian Peterson. I mean, those guys were able to play out there and playing on the same field. Brett Favre. Don't forget it.
In purple.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah.
You know, I got one more question just real quick about our defense, and that is, you know, you've been playing extremely well, one of our leaders in sacks right now, and what brings the energy in which you guys play, and how fun is it playing on this defense right now?
The defense is, I think, the best side of the ball to play on. Coach Barton does a really good job with getting us after the ball. We think every time they snap the ball, it's an opportunity for us to get the ball and create turnovers. And I think the past couple games we've had 4 or 5 turnovers, even some games, and we got to keep that up. I think it's very exciting what we're doing.
Awesome.
All right, last question I have for you. You were a multiple sport athlete in high school, so where was the decision to focus on football and that was what you were going to do after high school?
Well, football has always been my favorite. I remember 5th and 6th grade when I just started putting the pads on. I was a little bigger than everyone else, so it was a little easier. But ever since then, I just remember scoring the touchdowns. Like, it was no better feeling.
All right, very good. Thank you for joining us here today, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about homecoming and Wayne State and all that right after this.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
In the Big Ten, you're always under attack. No matter where you look, the competition is fierce. Every inch, every yard, every game
Touchdown, Buckeye!
is taken by force. But you like it this way.
There it is! Touchdown! Wow! Pick your channels, not your nose. With HBC's Essentials Plus, pick and choose the channel packs of your choice without getting your fingers dirty.
In the Pac-12, it's all about the fight. The enemy has a beat on you, so you bear down with clenched teeth. Without warning, you unleash a stampede. You fight for your pride. You fight for your colors. You fight on to live another day.
Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show, brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill. And as we said, it's homecoming week this week. I like what Carter said, that it seems like it's all about the football team, and the homecoming game is kind of the central part of the homecoming week. Talk about that. Is there any kind of added excitement because it's homecoming on campus right now?
Well, there is. There's a lot more things going on than just football
Absolutely.
game too, but football has been a central piece of it forever on our campus, and we want to really hold on to those traditions, because so many times traditions kind of get lost in the wayside, and that's something we've held to for as long as I've been around Winona. Even like in our Warrior Walk, we got the volleyball team coming with us. They're home this weekend as well. So anytime we get a chance to mix in schedules, that adds to their excitement and their environment as well. And then, of course, the banquets and all the things that we have to go with it now. But, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning with the parade, it goes all day and all the way through the volleyball game at night. So a lot of fun things happening. It really makes you proud to be a Winona State graduate.
All right, one of the things we talked about off camera is that the latest poll came out. You're now up to number 11. Again, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's fun. It adds to the excitement. One is to be 7-0, and now we have a chance to be 8-0. It'll be the first time since, I don't know, 94 or something like that. So now we're digging into historical numbers, and I think that's a great opportunity for our guys. So when they see that, they just feel accomplished, and now we got to just keep climbing. And I've said many times over the last couple of weeks that it's not where we are, it's kind of where we're going. So our kids aren't getting complacent. They're not getting cocky about it, because it's like, you start getting a little bit, you want more of it. And I think that's what we're going through, and it's really fun for our guys.
All right, Wayne State is the opponent. They're 4-3 coming into this week. How do you stack up against them?
I think we fare pretty well against them. They're very good. Zach Osborne is a very good quarterback. He's a great athlete. He's a great leader on their team. He's been in and out of injury for the last couple of years, but when he's on, he's very, very good. And defensively, they're very good. So we know we got our work cut out for them. We have to play a great game. We have to play a physical football game, and if we play fast like we have been, I think that we're going to be in pretty good shape.
All right, we talked a little bit about injuries. How are things going? I know you talked Mike Imperiale. He's got a cast on. Vince Falco has been out. How are you doing injury-wise?
Yeah, Vince will practice this week, so I don't think he'll play yet, but he's been back, so I think he's going to be fine. Mike Imperiale really is going through the same thing that Carter went through, so I don't think he'll play this week as well, but he should be good for the next one. So we'll limp into it just a little bit with a couple guys, but the guys who stepped up have done a great job. So and there is no others, so we're in good shape for what we've been the last couple of weeks.
All right, and then the last thing, your luncheon this week.
Yeah, again, now we're going to bring a couple of young guys to that one, but it'll be Thursday at the Riverport, and it's always fun. Homecoming week, there'll always be some more guys around. Jim Krupke actually will be there with an athletic guy that's going into the Hall of Fame this year.
All right, sounds good. Good luck this week.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, thank you for joining us here on the Tom Sawyer Show on HBC TV 25. We'll see you next week.